going to be working with distributive property as well as combining like terms. The first thing that we'll notice here is we no longer have just a two-step equation because we've got some numbers inside of parentheses. So today we're going to be distributing this 3 to everything inside of our parentheses. So when we rewrite it, we end up with 3 times x is 3x minus 3 times 4 is 12 equals 9. Now that's 3 is only distributed to whatever is in the side of the parentheses because we're taking 3 times the parenthesis. Now we'll go ahead and work just like we did in the first part of the lesson by using inverse operations to isolate x. So right now we'll start with the adding and subtracting because we have to work orders of operation backwards. So it was minus 12, we're going to add 12 for the inverse, so plus 12. We now have 3x equals 9 plus 12 is 21. And then it's 3 times x, so we're going to divide to get rid of the 3 so that we have just x by itself. Divide by 3. We find out that x equals 7. And if we want to check ourselves, we could substitute 7 in the original equation. 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 times 3 would give us 9, so that is a correct statement. Okay, so whenever we see those parentheses, yes, we are going to have to go ahead and do the distributive property before we can actually go through and work any of the opposites. So let's try another one. Here we have a negative number on the outside. So the key thing to remember is that when you have a negative number as your outside number, that you're taking that as you distribute. So we would think like this, negative 2 times 2, well, that would give us negative 4 with our x behind it. Negative 2 times 3 would give us negative 6. So this plus is now going to become a minus 6 or a negative 6 equals 10. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and work our opposites. So we're going to do orders of operation backwards. So it was minus 6, so we'll say plus 6. Plus 6. We have negative 4x equals 10 plus 6 is 16. So now we'll divide by negative 4 because we want it to just be x, so we have to take that negative with it. Divide by negative 4. X equals 16 divided by 4 is 4. There's one negative, so it's actually negative 4. Okay, so why don't you go ahead, pause your video, and try this one out. You should have gotten x equals 6 for that one. Okay, so we're really just adding one minor step, that if we have that distributive property in there, we have to go ahead and distribute that out first, and then solve like we did in the first part of the lesson. Okay, so here's another concept that is sometimes going to come into play, and that's combining like terms. So like terms are when sometimes you have just a standard number, also known as a constant number, and sometimes you have a number that has a variable. When you combine like terms, they have to either be just a standard number or they have to have the same variable in them. So like here, I'm noticing that this is a negative 7 with a y behind it. And this negative goes with that 8 or that minus, also has a y. So those are what you call like terms. They're the same. They have the same ending. So we need to think of this not as multiplication, but because there's this symbol between that y and that 8, it means that we're doing adding and subtracting combination. So I have to think of this as negative 7 and a negative 8. Those are the same symbols. I'm going to find the sum, which is 15, apply the same symbol, and then put my y. So that's what I get when I combine these two. And then equals 90. So that's our new step, is sometimes we might have to combine like terms. So now I have a negative 15y. Well, to get y by itself, it's multiplying right now, so we're going to divide by negative 15. Divide by negative 15. So y equals, I have one negative sign, so I know it's a negative answer. And then 90 divided by 15 is 6. And if you're needing to use your calculator on these, you may, because now we have a letter. So I want to know that you know the steps, not that you're awesome at division or multiplication. I hope that you can do that, but if not, I don't want that to be what frustrates you. All right, so let's try another one. Okay, so we have a 3y and a negative 8y, or minus 8y. So we need to think of it as 3 minus 8 or 3 plus a negative 8. This is positive. This is a negative in front of that, so those are different. We're going to find the difference is 5. The larger number had a negative sign in front of it. Put our y equals 25. Okay, so now we've got it back down to a one-step equation, so it's negative 5 times y. We divide by negative 5. Divide by negative 5. Y equals 5 divided by, 25 divided by 5 is 5. There's one negative, so you would get negative 5 for this one. Okay, so I'm going to slide one out here for you to try. Oh, let me mark on this. Actually, we'll do this one together. So here's where I'm saying sometimes you end up with what they call a constant versus a number with a variable. So when I'm looking at this one, I'm noticing this has a z and this has a z. And we have to remember that whatever symbol is in front of that number has to go with the number behind it. So now when I combine these, I cannot put the 13 with it because it does not have a z. So we're going to go ahead and do our 3z, which is positive, and a positive 8z. So those are the same symbol. Find the sum. We get 11z. Then I still have this plus 13 equals 35. Okay, so now we have a two-step equation. So we want to work it just like we did the other day. So right now it's plus 13. Well, the opposite is minus 13. Minus 13. We have 11z equals 22. So now we'll divide by 11 to get that 11 away from the z. Divide by 11. Z equals 2. Okay, so sometimes you'll end up with where it's not all the same terms. So here was an example where we had some z's and some constant or standard numbers. Okay, so I'm going to write one up and have you guys try it. So let's try this one independently. Oops, I'll make that a 7z. Go ahead and work through this one. You should have gotten z equals 14. Okay, so I'm going to slide this challenge problem out and have you guys try it. Just try based on what we've just learned. See if you can work your way through that one. So go ahead, pause your video, combine your like terms. And so what you're going to want to do on this one is get your two terms in the front half or the left half of the equal sign and then solve it like a two-step equation. So go ahead and pause your video and work your way through this one. You should have gotten y equals 8. Okay, so that's it for the second part of this lesson. Good luck on these and just keep working those distributive properties and combining those like terms.